Hello guys, I just woke up and literally feel like this can be a concept that will literally 10x or 20x your language learning study if you actually do apply it in a good way. So these are my credentials. I'm not going to really talk that much about it. And I'm introducing self-improvement into this fucked up language learning community. So if you want to join this movement, please keep watching. So the first thing is always do the work first thing in the morning. And what I mean by this is that cavemen's, you can imagine that basically in their days, like 200 million, 200 million years ago, 300 million years ago, like trillion years ago, they, do you think they went to hunt at 3 a.m.? No, because literally there was no light and it was very inefficient to hunt at those hours. And so you probably think, okay, but at what hour did they hunt then? They literally woke up and they saw that their families didn't have anything to eat and they said, okay, we need to hunt. And they went to hunt, fasted. And so that's kind of like the next point, right? So this requires you, well, actually, this requires you to wake up early. So you need to do it because you don't want your wife, right? In this hypothetical case, right? You don't want your wife to basically not have anything when she wakes up. You don't want your kids to not have anything when she wakes up, right? If you're a caveman. And so basically they wake up early, what, 6, 7 a.m. And then they basically just go and hunt. And so if we kind of have fuck, we if we kind of have the same nervous system, right? We need to literally copy them. That's the thing. And so they woke up early and they went on the hunt. We wake up early and we go also on the hunt. So after recording this video, I'm going to be studying for like 3 to 5 to 8 hours, right? So you can be the person who wakes up late and studies for hours, and you need to literally choose one. Either you're the person who wakes up late and studies just for like 2 hours, or you're the person who wakes up early and studies for 6 hours. You need to pick one of those two. If you don't, basically you're fucked. Okay. And the way to wake up early is just pick an hour, always sleep at that same hour. That's it. Don't put alarm because I feel like alarms can be actually kind of unhealthy. Right now, I'm not using alarms. I'm trying to just sleep as much as possible, and that's it. Because I feel like even if you wake up kind of early, what will happen is that you will not be as efficient in your study. And for me, it's just like, yeah, I probably will even sleep after my study if I put the alarm even. And so I prefer to just like sleep the hour more and just go to study like an hour later, even if I have to wake up late or something. So for example, today I woke up at 6 and I slept like what, um, 9, 10 hours. And so that will make my study way more efficient, right? Key band hunters were fasted, so you need to do it too. So we have the same nervous system as key bands, you literally can't avoid it. The same with our stomach microbiome, right? So they went on the hunt first thing in the morning. So after that, they feasted for like 3 days. So if you watch some of the Andrew Huberman podcasts, you will see that he talks with other professionals a lot about being fasted, right? And what being fasted means is that, well, when you're in this fasted state, usually, basically, this happens a lot, you can use your brain. Why? Because you literally all of the energy that you have in your body is not going into your stomach to be digested. No, because you are not eating anything. all of the energy is going into your brain. And this is the most important thing. Okay. Why? Because you don't want to be digesting something like carbohydrates. You don't want to be digesting something like sugary things, right? This is really important. And so the, it seems that the most healthy thing they did, well, was literally just they went on the hunt and then they feasted for 3 days because they couldn't really put the food in freezer, right? They couldn't literally like freeze the food, and so they had to literally eat that food. And so they feasted for like 3 days with the boar or the lion, whatever, and they went on the hunt again the next morning when they actually like finished digesting the food that they had. So I feel like this is a normal way. I feel no, this is a normal way in which you need to do things if you want to actually be efficient. Because literally we have the same stomach microbiome, which is basically out of the, you could say that it's the ambient that you have in your stomach. And so if you go against your nature, it actually makes lots of sense that you're basically not going to be able to study for more than 1 or 2 hours, right? Because you literally are going against your nature. You can't avoid nature. It is something that literally has to be like that. Humans didn't eat bullshit also. So basically, this relates with the stomach microbiome. So ultra processed foods are industrial formulations made with many added ingredients like sugars, fats, salts, artificial additives designed to hyper palatable. Avoid ultra processed foods and even not ultra processed foods, but like just processed foods. This is something that you need to avoid at all cases. So basically, they didn't even have these things. They didn't have the chocolate, the Doritos, the here in Venezuela we have something like which is pepitos, and so they didn't have those kinds of things, right? And what do you think will happen if before you study you have something like a Doritos in here, and then you try to, I don't know, do immersion or do systematic comprehensible input? Do you think you will be able to study if you eat first your Doritos, or you eat even your Doritos while you study? No, right? Now, something that I could kind of like do myself is that I could have something like what? Chocolates, right? Chocolates that are not really that processed and literally have zero sugar, right? So at least if you're going to eat something, eat coffee when you're fasted. And also, you're gonna eat chocolates that literally have zero sugar. It seems that those can be actually pretty good uh, when you're fasted. I don't do it, but if you want to actually eat something because you are really hungry, well then that's what you can do. So you actually don't stop being fasted, right? And so regulate your nervous system. This is probably the last point, and this is the primary reason for why you can't study. Literally, there's no other reason. If the first thing that you do in the morning is just basically a scroll, you need to be careful. Why I say this? Because our regular or basically nervous system has a type of energy, if you could say it like that, which he gets through the day, right? And so let's say that for you to be able to study, you need to have this amount of energy in your body, right? This amount of energy. But if you scroll, basically, well, this is dopamine, right? But if you scroll, your dopamine will be here. And now, if every morning you scroll, now your body will always want to be here, right? Because your body is always looking for dopamine. If your body doesn't have any dopamine, basically you are not having the primary, how would you say it? I don't know if it's an hormone, I think. I don't know. I was going to say that it's an emotion, but it's actually not. It's an hormone, right? And so if your body is not having that dopamine hormone, basically you can't do anything. You can't achieve anything. You can't, I don't know, eat anything. We get dopamine from everything. We get dopamine from the things we eat. We get dopamine from the goals we achieve. right? And so if your goal is literally scrolling on TikTok, your body is always going to be used at having these dopamine levels. And when you go and want to read, when you go and want to do systematic comprehensible input, you your body will say, oh, that doesn't give us that much dopamine, and so we are not going to do it, right? And so you need to regulate your nervous system by basically not doing these activities. You don't want to scroll, at least, I mean, if you're going to scroll, do it at the afternoon. At least in the morning, don't do it, right? Let your brain think first thing in the morning that he wants to study. And you can't achieve that if every morning you're literally just scrolling, right? You can't achieve that. And so, also something that can regulate your nervous system is this. So, when was the last time that you went to nature or something like that, or I don't know, with your friends, you played in the sand? So basically, this was the thing that I did yesterday, and I basically just went to here. I didn't bring my phone. I literally just checked my phone one time in like 8 to 9 hours. Right? I feel like I needed this so bad. And literally, when was the last time that you played with drugs in the sun? Bro, when was the last time that you did this? There's people who think that breaks are not important. I actually do think that breaks are important. They What is not important is how you take breaks. Why? Because there's people who think that video games are a break. TikTok is a break because they just do it 1 hour at the end of the day because they want to unwind. But in reality, this is not how it works. You can't unwind. Like, if we objectively analyze your brain whenever you are playing video games, we will notice that your brain is literally at its maximum capacity of usage. Because you're watching this guy and you want to scoop shot this guy, or you want to, I don't know, kill that guy, or you want to, I don't know, whatever thing that you do at video games, right? That is the problem with video games. They are actually not a break. Also, um, whenever you're on TikTok, people think that it's actually to take a break also. But yeah, you're basically getting out of this dopamine. So you actually need to just remove TikTok, honestly. Just remove Instagram and just stop using it. And if you want to use YouTube, at least watch these type of videos which literally have zero editing, and that's it. So when was the last time that you literally went to somewhere like this and you didn't use your phone? You literally just played with your friends. You literally like played in the sun. This is something that will regulate your nervous system because these are normal activities. When was the last time that you actually, I don't know, well, here is actually, well, here's actually, you can take an example on this because I mean, I'm using my phone here, but like, I just like recorded the thing real quick and that's it. But like, when was the last time that you literally just took a walk without your phone for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes? These are the type of things that will regulate your nervous system and will help you to basically achieve a more normal system. I'm a more normal nervous system like the caveman's, right? And so I recommend to you that if you want to be able to study, you start doing this type of activities at least one time a week, one time every 2 weeks. I'm not telling you to never take a break. I'm not telling you to always do language learning and not do anything else. But at least whenever you're going to take a break, go to a place like this, bro. Like in here, this this game is basically called uh, bolas criollas, but that's of course in Spanish. I actually don't know how to say that name in like in English, but I will say that this actually was very fun, and this is just way more healthy than being in your house, right? Than being in your house playing Fortnite. Okay, so yeah, if you're going to do things of the like, please at least make sure that you take breaks with this. Thank you.